Grand Rising, everyone. Is Shay Seeking, and welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to say something briefly about these. What am I going to call them? Just so that I don't use that word. Okay. Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. And I just wanted to jump right in and talk about how these people play games, and more about reading between the lines and going with your, using common sense and going with your intuition, using discernment when dealing with certain people, and also using the history of those particular people when they are dealing with particular other people. Okay, so I'm watching this little news clip or whatever, because man, I'm telling you, when I watch the news, when I find clips about what they're doing, because I listen a lot, just to see what they're saying, right? Just to see what they're saying, because nothing that they say sits with me. There's always an alternative view that my mind's eye is giving me while I am in tune with what's going on in their presentations. Okay, so again, they're talking about the doses that are going to be coming out to California, to Kentucky and all these other things. So I guess that Kentucky, I looked, and actually, I guess I was looking for Kentucky and like populations of people. And like articles were coming up, why are there so many black people in such and such places in Kentucky or whatever, right? So I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know. That just was a side note. Okay. And then I noticed that they're saying that they're going to give 2/3. Okay. Okay. They're going to give 2/3 to nursing homes, right? And then $12,000 to health care workers, right? Okay. So again, healthcare workers, I guess, and again, I'm not sure how many health care workers have fallen ill or even died from this so-called thing that is out. And I just always like to go to the etymology of words just to see what we're actually talking about, because there's always a dual purpose, there's always a dual meaning, there's always allegory, there's always parables, there's always everything, because everything that they do in this world has to do with you. Okay, anything of what they act as though it was of substance, it has to do with you. Okay, so we know that, again, it started off supposed to be something for the elderly, that turned into so-called black people being the ones that were being harmed more than anybody. So I guess that was saying even more than elders. But then if you think about elders and old, of age and everything, they already know that we old souls. They already know that we are the old. See what I'm saying? Because we were here first. So again, in terms when dealing with these people, they use these crafty things to throw you off, right? So again, we go from elderly to, oh, okay, but no, black people now are dying more. You know what I'm saying? Well, so-called black people are the elders of this plane. See? So at the end of the day, it was always talking about you. Okay? Because this is not what they're telling you that this is. This is a spiritual war we're going through. Okay? And this is the awakening. And I'm just going to tell you on just the surface, this is an awakening. It is something that is organically or naturally going to happen to the earth or the people of the earth, right? Okay, those are original people or aboriginal peoples that have been cast out, okay? Or the grasses or the offspring that I tell you guys about, okay, when we're talking about the biblical text. Because again, if your mind's eye if you're really in tune and enlightened, the reason why I think the Bible is the book that every single person has is because they want to say that there's no excuse that you didn't know what was going on in that text. Because when they do certain filthy things, but they don't add the fact that they have altered your perception, okay? That they have totally warped, see, this Operation Warp Speed, they have already warped your mindset on the book. So you're not discerning what's going on in the text. If you're in tune and you just have the Bible, we know that that's not the oldest. We know that it wasn't in the original text. We know that this, and that, and Sanskrit is older. We know that these things are what is legit, but it doesn't matter, because what they did was combine all that stuff and compound it into the biblical text. And I'm just telling you that there is a way, by using etymology and dictionaries while you're reading the text, instead of just thinking you know what it means because the pastor has been deceiving you, because that was what he was placed there to do. Okay. All right. So he works for the government first. Okay. Once they go in with the 501(c), they are basically taking an oath to put government over God or nature. Okay, because this God of this world that they have made you worship without you knowing is them. They are the gods of this world. They are the gods of the new world. We were the gods of the old world. They are not even gods. They have just taken your status, just like the term American, and they have given it upon themselves and hidden certain things from you and kept certain people in power so that the secrets can stay sealed, right? Okay. So again, they know that nobody wants to read, and they keep in the times when you would be interested in doing something, they keep you in these indoctrination stations for 12, 14, 16 years, rotting your brain with garbage that doesn't have anything to do with the pure nature of this plane or so-called world. Okay. All right. So I hope that's something that you can understand. The main things you need to know when you're reading the Bible, regardless of what anybody told you, because we have already found by putting all these terms together that have been used that the earth, okay, and you guys know this, there's a natural instinct in you that tells you, now the earth would be those of ancient, but if you still share the DNA, see, even when you're talking about like the Anunnaki, and they're called the gods of the DNA, right? So even though we are who we are now, right? Okay, we are connected to the soil. What's under the soil is your ancestors. We are formed, or are the archetypical Americans. Okay, see. So the key thing is, we're not fighting against so-called white people and white supremacy. We're fighting against a government that has stolen their entitlement from your ancestors and placed themselves over you and hidden you in a box, or in hell, or in the Sheol, okay, to be tormented forever, because that's what this system is going to deliver to you forever, right? All right. Now that we know that, and it's not because of the way you looked, they give you that perception today, but back then it was actually because of who you were, because you were the true heirs, and you are the true heirs of this land. So when we go to talking about the nursing home, okay, so I'm like, okay, nursing home is going to get 2/3, right? But what is nursing? See, because this started making me think about the warning to those who will be giving suck in those days, which always made me think about the fact that this is not talking about a woman breastfeeding her baby. You know what I'm saying? This is talking about people that are getting some type of assistance from the government. And if you think about that, more poor white and so-called black and Hispanic people are on Medicaid, Medicare, or whatnot. When this started, they were giving, just for being admitted, 10, 12,000, somewhere around that time. See, we forget to even just go back a year ago to see what the fuck they were saying. Okay. So these people, okay, were, just lost my train of thought. Where were we at? Oh, so they were giving like 12,000, 14,000, a couple thousand for people that had that Medicaid or Medicare, being admitted to the hospital for having this vid, right? And then it went on to giving an extra 40,000 for someone that was put on a ventilator. Well, 80% of the people that were put on a ventilator never came back out of the hospital. Now, why aren't we talking about ventilators now? Why isn't there a need, or why haven't they established that they have 20 million bazillion fucking ventilators? You see, because doctors were already coming out and saying that the ventilators were not the way. They were ruining the lungs. So who's to say that because of their need of antibodies, because this thing is coming to attack them, what they want to do is make it so that is attacking you. But then now when you start passing away because of the vaccine, do you see what I'm saying here? Okay. So what they were doing with our ancestors, with our elders in the hospital, was taking something from them. See that substance that we talked about when it says, when we were talking about the Social Security, I believe, that there's something about the elders that carry this, but the youth carry that, right? Okay. It was a form of something when we were talking about, goodness, I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, shoot. But anyway, okay, so I'm now all over the place in here. The point you need to take is that was for them to be able to extract something from them on the way out, so that they can now build this stuff and put it inside of some kind of vaccine to protect them and probably harm you. Okay, because they already said that the makeup of the so-called black people is different than everybody else's. Okay, so if that's the case, this was a guy that specializes in vaccines. If this is the case, then we should not be taking the same vaccines as they are taking for other people, because our makeup is different, right? Which means when they knew, and the whistleblower came out and said that our babies were getting what do you call it? Not Down syndrome, but learning disabilities and ADD and stuff from these vaccines, and they covered it up, and they knew what was going on. They tossed the information and they kept on giving this, right? So it affects all children negatively. So they will harm their own too. Okay, so don't think that that's not the case, right? But as long as it was affecting you more, it's okay. All right. That's really what they're looking for. So we're talking about nursing. So again, that's making me think about poor people, that unprivileged people, okay, that are just sucking up, like Bill Gates says, they're just sucking up energy and having babies, and they can't even take care of the things that they have going on, right? Now, how about if you have this medical card or this Medicaid, your child has to get this vaccine because we care. See, because so-called Black Lives Matter right now, right? So then you look at healthcare workers. Now, we are all workers because this is a corporation. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you have a birth certificate or a social security number, or even if you're on this plane, because again, we seem to forget that it's nice. It's nice that people are going in and doing what they do with their paperwork, right? But at the same time, they know who you are. They know what changes you made and who you were before and everything like this. So if it's really just about to go down, none of that shit is even going to matter, right? If their system is about to fall, none of that shit is even going to matter, right? Okay? So that's why I work with the soul. I work with the rising of the mind with the people, okay? All right. It may not be the most popular way, but I don't want to be the one walked away. I did this and I saved that and I got the best and I got this information and all this other shit. Why? You know what I'm saying? No, I want them to walk away and feel that way, because that's the only way truly that we're going to be able to move out of this, right? To get in line, right? So anyways, when they're talking about health, right? Care workers. Okay. This could possibly be talking about healthcare workers, but I'm just telling you that there's usually a dual meaning behind it. Okay. So let's see if I can do this smoothly. All right. Let's see what I looked up. Okay. Okay. So they said something about adults, right? So we go to adult. 1530, grown, mature, from Latin, grown up. A mature adult, right? Because this is making me think about how God, one of these guys said that my spirit will not live with man forever. It'll be 120 years. So right now we're in 2020. So what the hell happened in 1900 that we may be talking about? And I'm going to show you in a second here. So it says mature, all these other things. We're going to use grow up, come to maturity, ripen. Because again, regardless of what you think, if some of these things were psyops or not, the key thing by having the minds of so many people and then regurgitating and putting this stuff out about us dying and being shot and actually showing these deaths and doing all that, that is fucking abuse, right? Okay, that is a mental conditioning, right? It's instilling fear, uncertainty, different things that can't have you stable and sitting on your own, right? It can't have you in the right state of mind. Okay, so I think, like I told you guys before, that yes, this was the time for Trump to come in because it would ripen that what is going on within us in our kundalini, this shift, the awakening. Okay, see, because they want to try to step in and take force and then do the judgment on their own, but this judgment is for them. That's man. What you need to know about the biblical text is man is talking about men that came into, is fucking talking about colonizers. Man is colonizers and governments and the people that are in power and control over you in their fucking system, in their construct, their establishment or firmament. Man is them. Regardless if we talking some other time they called you man, no, but still we wore animalistic things on our bodies and things like this. They called you cattle or chattel. They call people animals and things and beasts and things like this. So again, separate yourself from man when we're talking about that biblical text, especially if you may be talking about it in the damn New Testament, right? Because there should be no confusion there. All right. The wife or the woman that they wedded or they connected with was this here earth, this plane, America. In other places too, as well, before us. Do you know what I'm saying? We're the youngest that they did it to, right? Okay. So again, when we talk about youth, what are we talking about too? Okay, when they're talking about the youth, they're talking about the newer people that came into these places. Those are the newer, or the youth or the young, right? Okay. So anyways, when we're talking about ripen, then I'm talking about, I'm thinking harvesting, because harvesting in the Bible was talking about this too. But what I think they were doing was a mental ripening to get us to a point where we fed the fuck up so they can measure. See, this we talking about in Enoch, right? So they can measure you and see how far these things have gone. Listen closely when they talking about what they've been doing and testing and measuring and all this other shit. It's talking about measuring. Okay, that matter, that dark matter. See, because they're saying, oh, it's going to be a real light at the tunnel. Light is also talking about them. Even I just opened up that fucking Bible and I flipped through a page and I seen a book sitting there and it said, let there be light. And it was light because Jesus came and brought that light that blinded your motherfucking ass and your third eye. The dark vapors or matters and sulfur and all this other shit that's combined within the people, the carbons and all this other stuff like that that's different in us, right? It's dark. It's dark matter. Okay. So at the end of the day, they just talking right in front of your face. But since you're not paying attention, you don't want nothing to do with the Bible because you think, I like I said, it's a fucking history book. Just like any other history book. It's a history book, just like any book that you going to fucking pick up at the library thinking that it's something different or you're going to get some different fucking information. It is, because it's dealing with the spiritual. So some of us are going to be better with seeing through that. And some of us are going to be better with seeing through law. And some of us are going to be better with, dealing with these other instances, right? Okay? Because law is in the Bible. Leviticus and other texts is talking about Acts is in there. They make Acts, don't they? Which just like the act that I'm about to show you guys that I think we're talking about in the biblical text, because that Bible is not as old. The stories in that Bible is not as old as they fucking telling you. I'm telling you that right now. You better think more towards that bitch was done and completed, or to a certain extent in the 1800s. And then the whole thing about prophecy is because they had a plan and they knew who was going to be in charge for the next 120 years or 100 years or whatever the fuck it would be. And this is why they was able to predict what was going to be happening, because they the still fucking same people that's in charge. All right. So ripening and that made me start thinking about harvesting, right? So burning the tare or putting it in a barn and then harvesting the wheat, which is the white, right? Okay. So it says that there's a nourished, so ripen, okay? Be nourished, hence increase, grow, to nourish, okay? To grow and nourish. Let's just get right to it, right? Let's see. It says all or all. Okay. Adulteress, all this other stuff, beyond. So again, think about this as going beyond, right? Because this is a very important portion. Oh, hold on. This is a hypothetical source of evidence for it is existed and provided by the Sanskrit. See, see, and this is the shit that I was just reading into. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you, that when you in tune stuff, you don't even know why the fuck you reading something a day ago, and then you come up with this information, and it all starts connecting the dots, right? Okay, so this Anya, okay, or foreign, strange, okay, altar. See, because these altars is not just talking about a wooden fucking box in the Bible. They may give you the image of that, but sometimes the altar is doing to the being. The alterations with vaccines over the years, that's the altering of the temple, your fucking temple. You're authorizing somebody, you're giving a vow to the government to authorize them to do whatever the fuck they want. So what they do is sugarcoat it. See, and this is the whole thing about taking it in or eating up this scroll, and your mouth is going to be sweet, but it's going to be bitter to your belly. You see what I'm saying? So we talking about some whole lot of different shit here. Everything is all those different levels all the fucking time when you're dealing with these people. Ultra, beyond, other side. Okay? So again, this is talking about this and these particular people possibly, right? Okay? Let's see what else it says. A high tone. Okay? The eldest. Okay? Haughty. See? They don't want nobody to be haughty or have wanton eyes. See, this, it just should just be telling you right here. World, okay, prolific. Make something grow to get well. See, and they're like, oh, once this gets out, everything is going, it's going to start moving this way, and everything going to be okay. Oh my gosh. And they look so happy about this fucking vaccine that they know nothing about, supposedly, because it was supposedly just created in about 8 months when it takes 10 years or more. And I'm going to tell you that even if they did, they already been working on this shit for 10 years or more, because they've been working on the plans of what the fuck is going on right now for more than 60 to 100 fucking years. Come on, man. All right. So this is to feed or nourish, right? High. Okay. People that's grown tall. Okay. And every time something happens, look at this shit right here. Civil law, this is a related term, transfer title of ownership to another. So I'm looking at this Nature Act also, right? I'm just dropping shit right now, right? Okay. So we were looking at this Nature Act also, that was put in place, I think in the 70s or something. And I think Donald Trump or Obama just had something to do with it again. I saw a young lady do a video on another video, but this is not what I'm on another act, but this is not what I'm talking about. It was something about like waters and natural forest and trees and shit like that, because you the trees that they talking about allegorically again in many instances. Okay. And it was talking about how relocating trees and all this other shit, and then it's talking about all this other stuff. And so, but if you're reading correctly and you're using different shit to interpret what they're saying, you'll see it. Then it started talking about jobs or something like that. And so a tree can't have a fucking job. So now I know that this whole act is really talking about us. Okay. It was talking about cutting down some trees and relocating some trees, because I'm telling you, it's a shit about to go down. Okay. And regardless what the fuck you got on some paper, they already got your records of who you is, who your ancestors was here on this land. And if you fit the description, they coming for your ass. Right. Okay. So we're not even going to look at that anymore. What other term did we have here? Okay. Nursing. Okay. So nurse in any sense. Okay. One who nurses the sick and injured. Okay. So one who nurses the sick and injured. So again, nursing. So again, like I said, this could be talking about those particular workers that are going to be giving this to people, because they're going to use these same military men, more than likely. Okay. These same groups to go after and administer these vaccines. So they probably could be talking about those particular people that then we go back to the 2/3 could be going into the poor neighborhoods, right? See? Which then in turn could be talking about what I think we're talking about. And if you're not prepared, then it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay. So let's see. So again, this could be talking about those people, because it says profession of one who nurses the sick and injured. Okay. But let's go down here. Wait, let's go back there real quick. The work of caring for the sick or injured, or infirm. Infirm. Huh. Okay. Nursing, nourishing at the breast. Okay. All right. So, I was about to say something. I was going to make another point. Okay. So, anyways, a wet nurse, a woman who nourishes or suckles an infant. Okay. A foster mother. Okay. To a young child. A foster mother or nanny. Okay. Let's see. A tutoress. A governess. Okay. All right. All right. From Nutrix. Okay. Genitive Nutrix. Oh, sound like new tricks, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. Okay. To suck. A female servant that takes care of a child. Okay. Okay, takes care of all right. Dog. Okay. Okay. But the sense is obscure, or perhaps a different word conformed to it by folk etymology. So dogfish, shark, inactive habits. Oh, wait, a dogfish. Okay, anytime we talk about fish, we talk about people that came over here from the sea, wayfarers, colonizers, voyagers, immigrants, and alien groups. Okay, a name given to various sharks of, now these are sharks though. See, we ain't talking about fish, right? Little guppies. We talking about sharks. What do they call them? Tycoons and sharks and shit when they make it in big in certain industries? Okay. Sharks of inactive habitants. Man, okay, my spirit shall not be with man forever. But the sense is obscure, or perhaps a different word confirmed by folk etymology. To suckle or nourish. Okay, so we already looked here. All right. Feed and bring up, nurture. Okay, let's see. And y'all already know the restrictions that they give you just for needing any kind of assistance. You already know how they are. Try to cure by special care of treatment. Maintain, harbor, hold. See, could there be concentration camps that are going to be involved? All right, for handicapped people. Okay. All right, so let's go to nourish real quick. To supply with food and drink and feed and bring up and nurture and promote the growth or development. Don't they, when you go to WIC, you got to go and look at their fucking chart. That's some bullshit about eggs and bacon and shit and milk and all this other stuff. We just feeding our babies gallons and gallons of mucus in blood, because really they have to dye the milk to get it that color. Just saying. They just want to shove it down your throat as soon as it's just kind of crazy to me. And then the chemical-based formula that they have. Again, I fed it to my children. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, now that we fucking know. Just because I fed my baby's formula don't mean I need more people to be doing that shit today. I mean, goodness. People always want to say, well, oh, they trying to act like they better than everybody and they da. No, that's not what I'm saying. Just like I tell you guys, okay, that I have interracial people in my family, that people may hear me say things like that and they say, oh, that sounds so bad. Oh, how they feel, whatever. It's not that. And I told you guys I love them and that will never change. Right. Okay. And I still wouldn't change anything. Right. But it doesn't mean that I'm saying negative. It might sound negative to you because you're not in that elevated status where all that shit is just nothing. It really means nothing at this point. You know what I'm saying? The truth is the only thing that, and the truth fucking hurts. Right? Right? So I'm not about to say it because it's going to hurt somebody. They should be if they my family members, they know me and they know I ain't no shit like that. You know? But it's hard to understand because people are not seeing it through the same lens, right? So I don't get upset with people. All right? They don't know. I try to explain it, but then they want to think that you're a know-it-all. You know what I'm saying? And that you think that you're a know-it-all. And that's not the case. I'm just not going to, just because we're having a conversation and everybody else says these terms and they think it means something, when it comes around to me and you ask my opinion, I'm going to use the proper meaning. And then I'll tell you what, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep using that term in that way when I don't mean that. I don't do that. I can't do that right now in the way that I am. Right? All right? And if I am, I'm going to let you know I'm using these terms because of. Okay? right? So to swim, flow, whatever. All right. So let's just see. All right. So, oh, we seen all that. Now let's get over here to this act here. Let's get over here. Now, there's something called the rake. Okay, hold on. It's getting hot up in here. I'm sitting out in my car. There's something called the something rake act. For rake act that was put in 1900. Okay. Now this says rake, right? It says a toothed tool to draw. Okay, a toothed tool for drawing or scraping things together. Now, if you listen real closely and see shit that's going on today in these times, your mind should already say, that sounds kind of like what they talking about something else, right? Like it was saying something about something, it was something like maybe another time we'll do it, okay? But it made me think about the Q-tip that they're using, the long instrument. And to think that it may not have something scrapey at the end of it, right? What do they use when they go in and do like an exam, a female exam? They use a Q-tip thing, right? Okay. And just to think that they don't have anything at the end of that, people have been bled out. They've had things in their brain rupture from getting these things stuck up in their damn nose. Okay. So again, but the fact that we're talking about it's a tool for drawing or scraping things together, to gather, okay? See, for a harvest, right? Head up. See, that's what I'm saying. Why is saying head up, right? So moving in a straight line. So this is in one accord. They want to move us in one certain direction, right? All right. There's a line of demarcation there too, or a rule, okay? With derivatives meaning to direct in a straight line, thus to lead and rule, okay? So to direct these people in a line so they can lead and rule, or maybe I'm mistaken. To reach or stretch out, okay? To keep straight. So again, something to keep somebody straight on a path, right? They don't want nobody getting off the beaten path. They want you straight on this path, right? Perhaps an action implement with straight pieces of wood. Now, wood, talking about Negroes, so-called Negroes. It's talking about wood. Wood or cut trees, symbolic for black people being cut down or hewn down. Your family trees being decimated, right? Or subdued or covered or blotted out. Same damn thing, okay? A debauchee, okay? Idle, dissolution person, okay? Shortening of rake hell. Engravings were published in 1735, okay? Now here, rake, verb, mid-13th century, clear, rubbish, grass. See? We talk about grasses in the Bible. These grasses is talking about certain groups of people too. By raking, gathering, a form of a lost Old English verb related to it or from a similar Scandinavian source. Rage. So again, we're just reading about how, these terms should all flow with what the fuck we talking about right here, right? If we right? Didn't I say it seemed like they trying to provoke us to rage? It's something else that's been going on for the past couple years, especially when Obama got in. They have been trying to, and I think, like I said before, Donald Trump was supposed to be put there to just fuck with it and just sit there and say, let's see how this goes. I want to see, I think he was trying to give a little bit of time, maybe for whatever reason he wanted to see where this would go. He wanted to play with the fire. Where Biden is like, we need to smut that, we need to put it out. The news, the media, we need to put it out. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as global warming. They know global warming is talking about you. It's talking about your core warming or heating up. It's talking about your kundalini. It's talking about your crown or your corona. It's talking about your chakras. It's talking about your pineal. Even the 4 parts, Okay, it was something about the 4 parts of something, and they try to show you that sometimes that map that has like a little circle in the end or whatever, in the top, I mean in the middle, and then there's 4 sections of Earth. Think about that. Even look at your brain, right? The anatomy of the brain, right? Because it would be looked at as a source of a river or something flowing, blood vessels flowing through, right? Okay, there's different parts of the brain that they say they don't know what they do. They just give us the limited amount that you need to know. Okay. Move through with or as if with a rake. So like raking your fingers through somebody's hair, it says. To level or smooth. Sweep the length. Measure. Even Satan told, I think, the fallen angels to measure the people. All right. And another way you have been calculated would be through the senses. We got all this shit going on. The serial numbers you probably got now for the biometric scans that they're doing on your eyes when they give you that 2020 ID. Same thing. Examine hastily or hastily. What are they doing? Scan. To skim. Oh, shit. I was just talking about something about this skimming. Oh, I think it was something else that we did that it said something about skimming the surface or the foam or something off the surface. Scrape gently, okay? To desolate man in fashionable society, right? Okay? Rake hell, profilage, ripe, blood, rouse. To rouse them. See, who's going to rouse them, right? Right? Now remember this. This rousing is going to happen with the earth, right? And the offspring in some instances, right? And this is why also it says something about don't hurt the earth and don't hurt the waters and don't hurt until we do this particular type of thing. See, if you don't look at Revelation, we running out of time to a certain extent. If you don't mess with no books, mess with the beginning and the end. And right now the end, Revelations 12. I mean, all the whole damn thing. You're gonna if what I'm telling you should be tools for you to take and do the same thing I'm doing right now to unveil. This revelation is about a lifting of a veil or revealing something coming to the surface too, right? Which just somebody looks like they ready to rake and harvest the shit. Okay, all right. So, degree of deviation from a horizontal plane, a pitch, and this reminds me of how it talks about the earth is on its axis. All right, a rake, a long-handed tool with okay, I can't see. Okay, with a row of teeth at its head, used to move leaves and loosen soil. You are the soil. See, the soil, the land, the earth, the dry land, all that shit is representing you. The dry land represent people that did not want to amalgamate and mingle. Barren land. Okay, look at this. So what they're doing by doing one thing, testing you now, and then when they test you again, what would we be doing then? See, that's why I think that they're putting something in and they're sealing it somehow. With this vaccine, they're going to be administering something. They need to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks. They said they don't really know exactly right now. All this shit is just a test. It's guinea pigs being used, right? So it really don't matter. So, do you see what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Loosen soil. Wow. So this is that fire that's going to be lit. Okay. That we're talking about in Revelations and other books. And they want to put it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if I can do this right here. So, I was looking at this whole Operation Warp Speed or whatever and what they planning on doing and all this stuff or whatever. There's always messaging and symbolic things in that stuff too. So here's this thing here. The Forake Act. The Organic Act. What is this? Wait a minute. 1819. The Adams Onus Treaty.